Hey guys, Coach Brian here. It's Thursday and just another pre-game video for Friday for our game tomorrow. So hopefully you guys get a chance to watch this. So rather than getting out the clipboard, I'm just going to use a couple of short videos to kind of just talk about the things that we practiced yesterday and what I really need you guys to focus on. So let's go through this. So this first one is on zone defense. So like I told you guys last night, we talked about the key things is you have to stay in your zone, okay? But that doesn't mean you just stand still, okay? You got to be in a good defensive stance, knees bent, wide stance, okay? And you got to work with work with your teammates, but especially for the guys that are coming up, that are playing down low. I don't want you coming up. You got to prevent the ball handler on the other team from getting down behind you and under the basket, because that's the easy shots. Okay, so let's just go through this. This is a short video. It's like 2 minutes, but we'll just walk through it really quick here. Not all this is applicable, but let's just see here.
In this video, you'll learn how it can be used as an alternative to man-to-man defense.
I'm going to flow through this a little bit.
To understand how to use zone defense, we'll look at these 3 points. The principle of zone defense, the advantages of zone defense. First, the principle of zone defense. In a zone defense, each player is responsible for defending a certain area of the court.
Okay, so that's what I was trying to tell you guys. See the circles, so you're responsible for an area, but it doesn't mean you stay in one spot. But, if you're this guy or this guy in particular, you shouldn't be coming up here where this guy is, right? You're playing down low, if you stay down low. If you're playing up high, you play up high, okay? But you also have to work together. So if an offensive player tries to come in right here, right, then the two of you guys are going to close them out, okay, and prevent them from getting in, all right? But you stay in your zone.
The defenders move according to their position of the ball. As soon as a pass is made, a defender goes to mark the ball carrier and the others get back into position. Individually, each player applies the defensive principles explained in the videos defending against the ball handler, defending against a player without the ball, and defending the low post. There are several types of zone based on the original position of the players. For instance, in the 3-2 zone defense, you will find a line of 3 players along the 3-point line and a line of 2 players.
This is pretty much what we did in the last game. I mean, they're calling this 3-2, but if you want to call it 1-2-2, 1-2-2, but whatever you want to call it, this is basically what we did in the last game, right? We started out, we had Silas up here, we had 2 low guys and 2 high guys. So this is basically the setup we were doing.
At the back of the key. Secondly, the advantages of zone defense. According to the defensive strategy, zone defense can be used to protect the key, with a high density of defenders along it.
All right, so you see what he said? This type of defense is best for defending the key, okay? That's the lane, the paint, that's this area right here. I know, I don't want you guys to get confused. If somebody says key, lane, paint, it's all the same thing. It's this area right here, this rectangle in front of the basket, okay? That is the main, advantage to this zone, which is really what we really want to keep people out. Like I said, if they want to start shooting outside, long shots, let them do it. If we find somebody that happens to be a good outside shooter, we'll deal with that. But you got to just keep them out of this area. That's the whole advantage of a zone defense.
This type of defense makes it complicated to dribble towards the basket, and it can be useful among shorter players as well as making it easier to catch rebounds. Zone defense also enables your team to push forward quickly if you receive the ball, thanks to the players defending along the 3-point line.
And there you go. See, so that guy tried to penetrate. You had the defender standing there. They actually stole the ball from him. So that's the advantage. They try to get in there. You guys clog it up with 2 guys, the overlapping zone guys, like I showed you. And then, it's easy just to keep them out of the paint. If you get a steal, great. If they have to just back out and try again, they might do that. But, that's the whole idea.
The weaker defense players are also less vulnerable than in man-to-man defense. Thirdly, the disadvantages of zone defense. There are still some disadvantages to zone defense, as it leaves open space for strikers.
So that's what I'm saying, right? So because you're worrying about covering this area, it makes you vulnerable to like guys shooting outside. This guy's outside the 3-point line, All right. Again, we're going to see some of this, guys, but I'm not worried about at your age group, too many 3-point shooters. They might get lucky and hit one, but for the most part, this is the area we want to protect again. And like I said, in that game we played last week, despite, that wasn't a good team we played, but all their points, they scored right underneath here. All of them. I went back and looked at the video, okay? They had no outside shots at all that hit. Everything was underneath. You can keep them out of here. You're going to win more games than not, okay?
If you're up against a team of sharpshooters, you may well concede a lot of points from long shots. It is also very open to defensive rebounds and can be tested when faced with an opponent who is particularly strong at breaking through the defense.
All right, so that's kind of the basics. Now here's another quick video, guys. This one is just talking more about defending down low. So if you're one of the two guys down low on defense, that's called the low post, okay, as opposed to a wing, okay? So this is just, talking about how you should be positioning yourself down low. So let's just go through this one.
In this video, you will learn how to guard an inner player placed on the low post. Offense players who get this far are generally very dangerous as they are extremely close to the basket.
So what did he just say, right? If you allow them to get down here, they're dangerous, right? Because they're really close to the basket. If they manage to get the pass, they're going to get a shot off 9 times out of 10, and it's an easy shot that they can hit.
A good defense at the low post can be separated into 2 steps, trying to disrupt the pass and guarding the player carrying the ball. First, trying to disrupt the pass. If the ball is to either side, you have to prevent your mark from getting the ball. To do this, you'll need to assume the 3/4 defensive position, which means you have a foot and a hand cutting across the passing lane, facing the baseline. The opposite forearm is in contact with the player to stop them from moving forwards. You can also turn or use your arms to try to get between the ball and your opponent, standing with your back to them. Keep your arms held high to obstruct the pass.
All right, so there's 2 different ways you can defend it, right? You can either do what they said here, okay, which is to just kind of stand so that you're basically able to get your hand into the lane, okay, just disrupting the pass, okay, or completely stepping in front and getting your body, completely in front of the guy. Either way, guys, it basically involves getting your body between the ball and the guy you're guarding. So if they do manage to get somebody down here, you got to stay right on them, okay? You can't be in back of them, okay, because they're going to get the pass, okay? And this actually, shows that, if they are able to get the pass, we'll do that in a second, all right? But just keep your body between the ball and your man. And you notice this guy's knees are bent. He's got his hands up. He's trying to he's watching the ball, and he's going to try to break up any pass that comes in. But this is what I'm saying to you. You got to be in here with your knees bent in a good position. If you're standing there standing straight up with your knees locked, okay, I know it doesn't sound like it, guys, but you're not as able to react because you're standing flat-footed. Whereas if you stay in this defensive stance with bent knees, it's a lot easier for you to adapt and move around.
Your arms held high to obstruct the pass. Once you're in this position, bend your knees and push your opponent towards the baseline to prevent them from
bend your knees and push. You can use your butt, push them back. Just keep them from getting the ball. You push them back towards the baseline.
Receiving the ball. Secondly, defending against a player carrying the ball. If the player manages to catch the ball, you quickly have to position yourself between them and the basket.
All right. And then that's the other thing, and I said this last night. If they do manage to get the ball, then now you've got to switch. And instead of having your body between the player and the ball handler, now he's got the ball, so now you've got to get your body in between the offensive player and the basket, because now he's got the ball. Now you've got to try your best to keep him from taking a good shot.
In the defensive stance, place your forearm horizontally in front of you, above your hips and with your fist closed, ready to resist if your opponent tries to push you under the basket. Keep your knees bent to be stable and responsive if the player turns to shoot.
There you go. Knees bent, right? So you can be responsive, right? And like I said, guys, basketball is physical, right? So just, you can put a little arm into his back. I mean, don't push him, don't, hurt him, but you can push, you can get a little pushback on him so he knows you're there, all right? And that's it. So that's basically covering that low post position, guys. It's all a matter of just getting your body in the right spot, keeping your knees bent, and just preventing the pass from coming in the first place. But if it does, then you have to switch to, defending the basket with your body in between the guy and the basket, okay? All right, 2 more things, guys. So this one's on boxing out. Okay, we talked about boxing out. Basically, again, guys, you got to be physical, right? This is on offense or defense. You got to be physical. You got to be willing to get in there and mix it up a little bit and, keep them from getting the ball. So this is a short one. We'll just go through this.
How to box out and rebound in back.
This is Tracy Murray, and welcome to Video Judge.
Boxing out and rebounding. Rebounding is hard work, so much so that and hungry for the ball. Change of possession for the defense.
First thing you want to do when the ball goes up is find your man, turn, and box him out. Feel your man, spin into him.
Okay, so that's the drill we practice, guys, where first you see your man, the shot goes up, you got to, give him a little bump into his chest, okay, like this guy does right there, all right? So you know where he is, okay, and then turn your body and just get right in between them.
Spin into him, make contact with your butt and your legs, get low, put your butt on his knees.
All right, you notice also, knees are bent. Again, you get in the common theme, guys, you got to stay in a good defensive stance, all right? His knees are bent, wide, feet are far apart. He's got his hands up. It's just like the last video I just showed. Don't stand there just completely standing up flat-footed, okay? If you are, it's very easy for them to get around you. When your knees are bent, I'll say it again, you can be a lot more flexible and move a lot quicker.
The second way to box out is to face guard them, put a forearm in their chest, and as they go around, you find them, you feel them, put your butt on their legs, stay wide, and box them out.
Step 2, rebounding.
Then as the ball comes off the rim or the backboard, you pursue the ball by rebounding. Bring it down to your chest and keep it tight, and then throw the outlet pass.
And there you go. So that's a defensive rebound, right? So once the ball's coming down, then you're going to come off the guy you're defending, okay? And then if we're looking to go back the other way, then you're just pulling the ball down to your chest or your chin, and you're looking to turn and pass it up court, okay? Obviously, if this is our rebound we were shooting, then obviously you're just going to, like we said, try to go right back up with the shot. Don't bring it down. Catch it up high and just take the shot if you can, okay? But don't force it. If you got somebody covering you, then you got to pass it out, all right? So boxing out, guys, got to be physical. You got to be willing to mix it up, and you got to keep your knees bent into that defensive position. All right, last thing, guys, is on getting open. Okay, so now we're talking about offense here. Last night we practiced V cuts. Okay, honestly, I don't think you guys did a particularly great job at it, but I showed you this video back towards the beginning of the season, so we're just going to go through this again. It's a short video, and to understand how you have to do this. So, guys, whether we're going to set screens or whether we're going to do cuts like this, you guys have to figure out a way to get separation away from whoever's covering you. Again, if you're just kind of like just wandering back and forth trying to get open, the defender can easily cover you, okay? If you're just going left, right, up, down, okay, the defender can easily stay with you, okay? You're never going to get open that way. So that's the whole point of something like this, where you're trying to trick them into one thing and then doing something else.
We're going to show you how to move without the ball, ditch your man, and get open using the V-cut. If your defender's doing his job, he's making it tough for you to catch the pass from your teammate. Maybe he's crowding you or hedging the passing lane, but just making it impossible for you to get open to receive the ball. If you're just standing there, I hate to break it to you, but you don't deserve the ball.
Right? I just said, if you're just standing there, you're not doing anything to get open, then you really don't deserve to get the ball.
Have to take action and create some space for yourself to get open. First things first, you want to walk your man down until he's at about the block. We call this creating a lead. Now he has to follow you because you could flash right to the basket if he doesn't. Then you want to plant your baseline side foot and explosively push off of it and head back out to the perimeter. So basically you're leading him down unsuspectingly, and once you lull him into complacency, you burst back out to your original position on the wing. If you sell it, that changes.
All right, now this is a little different than what we did, guys, because he's getting the pass out here instead of underneath. I don't want you guys necessarily doing this because this is a more low percentage shot, okay? So, but it's still the same concept, guys. We're just kind of doing it the opposite. So instead of coming down here and then flashing out and getting the pass here, which is what these guys did, okay, we did it the other way where you came out here and then flashed back into the paint, okay? Now, I don't mind this way, guys, as long as you're not coming out too far. I don't want you guys coming back out beyond the three-point line. But if you know, for those of you that can shoot a little bit outside, this is okay too. It's just the opposite of what we did last night. Okay, so last night I had you guys start here, run out, plant the foot here, and then cut back. These guys are doing just the opposite. They're going down and then planting the foot here and coming back out and getting the pass here. It's just flipped over on its head. All right, but it's the same concept.
Change of direction and speed will get you a lot more space to catch the ball and make an attack. And that's all because the defender is at least one step behind you and trying to recover. So you're in charge. So that's just one way to get yourself open for a pass.
All right, so that's really it, guys. Okay, it's all about but you got to sell it, right? You got to plant that foot hard and you got to explode out. If you do it like really wimpy and soft and you're just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to step and then come back out, then it's, again, you're not fooling anybody and they'll be able to stay with you. So you got to plant hard on that outside foot and then go the opposite way. Whether you're, coming down and back out or whether you're going back out and coming back into the paint one way or another, okay? So, but it's all about getting open, especially behind the defense, so that this guy with the ball can hit you with a pass, okay? So, when, we're up here with the pass, we're looking for these shots underneath. The better you can do this, guys, the more passes, and shots we'll be able to get under the basket. And that's ultimately what we want. All right, guys, so that's it. Make sure everybody watches this. Watch it again if you have to. And we'll see you tomorrow night, Friday night. Thanks.